always you will find either one eye or he's limping or he's struggling to make a living, but he's the muaddin of the masjid. So when this person was about to give adhan, mockingly, this TV crew said, let us also put him into the assignment. And they set up the camera in front of this muaddin. And the muaddin stood up and he said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is great. There is nothing on the universe greater and more powerful than Allah Rabbul Izzat. The moment he said Allahu Akbar, the director of the TV crew immediately closed and shut the cameras, and immediately he recited Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah on the hands of that muaddin. And he refused to go back to Britain, and he said that you continue, you can have all the equipment. After many months when they returned, they thought, let us go and meet the boss, the director. And when they met him, they interviewed him. He said, Wallah, there is nothing in my life that I want. I only want to be in seclusion where I can take Allah Rabbul Izzat's name. The heart is clean, the mind is clean. So what happens? The moment the Kalamullah touches that heart, it manifests through the eyes, through the ears, through the tongue, through the limbs. Allah said in the Holy Qur'an, Inna hadha al-Qur'an yahdi lillati hiya aqwam. This is how unique, how powerful is the Qur'an. Allah said, undoubtedly, this Kalamullah, this Qur'an of mine, it will guide man to a path that we term as aqwam. In Arabic, what is aqwam? It is a path that you follow with ease, without any difficulty. And there will be success for you by following that path in this dunya and in the akhirah. This is how unique is the Qur'an. No man, no jinn, no nation on the earth could ever oppose the Qur'an. Yahdi bihi kathira wa yudhillu bihi kathira wa yahdi bihi kathira, Allah said. Through the virtue of this Qur'an, Allah gives people hidayah, and through the very same Qur'an, He leads people astray. Through this Qur'an, Allah elevates people, and through the very same Qur'an, Allah destroys and disgraces people. How is this done? Is the actions of insan, is his concept towards the Qur'an. The Khalifa Mamun, in his time, he was the Khalifa of the Muslim world in Baghdad, and he had a habit that every year he would call up a conference. He would invite people from different school of thoughts, Christians, Jews, and he would sit down with them and they would debate. This particular year, while this conference was taking place, his eyes fell upon a young boy, very well dressed, and this boy looked like a Jew. So after the conference, he called this boy and he said to him, tell me something, are you a Yahud? Are you a Jew? He said, yes. So in the back of his mind, he thought that he'll invite this person toward Islam. If he accepts Islam, then from the Mal, from Baytul Mal, he would support and assist this boy. So he said to him, if you accept Islam, then I will help you, I will set up a home for you, I will give you allowance, I will assist you to get married. The boy replied that I prefer rather to be on the deen of my forefathers. And in this manner, he bade farewell and he left. The following year, in another conference, his eyes fell on this boy, but this time he had the Islamic libas on. After the conference, he called this boy and he said, tell me, are you not the very same Yahud, the same Jew that attended the conference last year? He said, yes, but I see now that you are Muslim. He said, yes, I became Muslim. He said, but why didn't you accept Islam then? Now pay attention to this, youth, children. He said, when I went back home, I did some research on different religions. My profession, I'm a scribe. So I make money by writing, calligraphy. So he said that, I said, let me put to test the three biggest religions, Christianity, Jews, and Muslims. So I took the Bible and I wrote certain verses of the Bible. I added and I subtracted some of the verses, but I wrote it very beautiful. And I prepared these frames and I went to the high priest and I presented my work. He looked at it, very impressed. And he said, in all the churches, I want you to place this type of work. And he wrote and he placed it in all the churches. Thereafter, I decided, let me go to the Jews. And I prepared the work for many days. Beautiful script from the Torah. I presented to the Jewish priests. They looked at it, they were very impressed, and they said, every synagogue in the town should have this. The final task was to test the Muslims. So I took gold, and I made the frame of gold and silver, and I prepared. I moved the harakah here, I add on a harakah there, I placed the dot here and I added. And I went to the mufti of the time, and I presented my work after many months. Picked up the script, he looked at it and he said, please do me a favor, never ever come back to us again. He said, why? He said, the dot is changed here, the harakah is changed. I went home and I said, Allah, it is impossible that a deen as such, the religion as such, the kalam of Allah can be wrong. And I recited the kalima, la ilaha illallah. But I say to you and I say to me, is there any difference in the harakah? Many years ago, a person in Pakistan was on journey, he was traveling. He was a Hafidhul Quraan, he was looking for jobs, so he left the village and he decided to go to one of the big cities. As he passed by one village, he saw there was a little commotion, people were standing, not knowing what to do, so he inquired, is there a problem? They said, yes, somebody passed away here, none of us know how to bury. He said, not a problem, I will help, I will assist you. Gave the coffin, the different, and he buried the person. And he continued. When he got to the big city, he realized that the documents he had fell into the qabr. So he got back and he sought permission from the ulama. He said, yes, open up the qabr. And when he opened the qabr, the entire qabr was filled with flowers, fresh flowers. And there was beautiful fragrance coming from these flowers. So he asked, what should he do? They said, open up the flowers, and eventually he got his documents and he left. But before he left, he became inquisitive. He said, when I buried this person, there was no flowers, there was absolutely nothing. They went to the parents and they asked the parents. The mother said, there is nothing that my son in his life did. He was not educated because we were villagers. But there was one thing every day he would do. What was this? He would open the Glorious Quraan. He could not recite the Quraan. But that muhabbah, that love for the Quran was so unique, he would take his fingers, by way of example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alif Lam Mim, Dhalikal Kitabu La Rayba Fi, and he would stop. But he wouldn't read, he would run his fingers across. And wherever he stops, he said, Allah, I take a qasam on your name, from that point to this point, whatever you said, it is haqq. This is how unique, how blessed, how sacred is the Glorious Qur'an. I say to myself and I say to you, today is Yawmul Jummah. Be honest with us. How many of us recited Surah Yasin? How many of us recited Surah Kahf? How many of us opened the tilawat of Quran? Now don't forget, the Quran is unique in every aspect. Now look at how compassionate, how much mercy and rahmah Allah have for this ummah. Allah knew that my servants, my banda, would love to see me, they would love to speak to me, they would love to touch me. The usul and principle is what? When you love somebody, you love to speak to your beloved, you would love to sit in the company of your beloved, you would love to touch your beloved, you would like to hear the voice of your beloved. Is that correct? And Allah knew that my servants on the dunya would wish and desire that, but that is impossible. So therefore Allah bestowed us and blessed us with Kalamullah. Why? When you open Kalamullah, you would see my sifat, my qualities. When you read the Quran, Hassan Basri said that if anybody wants to speak to Allah, yaqra'ul Quran. What must you do? Open the Quran and read the Quran. And when you read the Quran, immediately Allah is listening to you. It is my kalam, it is my speech. You see the sifat and the qualities in the Quran. Therefore, whenever people read Quran, what do you find? The natural and inherent quality of a mu'min. Some of us cry, some of us smile, some of us sob, some of us embrace the Quran, some of us kiss the Quran, some of us bring the Quran to our eyes. What is that? That is nothing but the manifestation of the deep muhabbat which Allah Rabbul Izzat placed in the heart of a mu'min. So therefore, whenever you read the Quran, embrace the Quran, Kiss the Qur'an. Bring the Qur'an closer to you. 3 minutes left. And in the 3 minutes, one short advice and nasiyah before we conclude. What did we say? The heart and the mind must be clean. Our mashayikh said, إذا جبدت الأيون فاعلم أن الجمود الأيون من قسوة القلب وقسوة القلب من كثرة الذنوب وكثرة الذنوب من نسيان الموت ونسيان الموت من طول العمل وطول العمل من شدة الحرص وشدة الحرص من حب الدنيا وحب الدنيا رأس كل خطيئة أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. What does this mean? They say when the tears start drying up in the heart of a mu'min, when we cannot cry any longer, what is that? It is a sign of the hardness of the heart. When I cannot cry when I'm reading the kalam of Allah, there are no more tears left. Bear in mind, it is the hardness of the heart. Why does the heart become hard? Min kathrati dhunub is the excessive indulgence of sin. When my eyes engage in sin, my ears engage in sin, my tongue engage in sin, the tears start drying up in the heart. What causes the heart to become hard? Tulul amal. The lengthy desires and targets that I set in life. In 2012, this is what I want to do. 2013, what we say in Arabic? Tulul amal. That lengthy desires that I set in life. Why do men set up these desires? Shiddatul hirs is the excessive greed for dunya. Don't forget, these are the things that block the arteries of the nur, penetrating the heart. When the heart is affected, the eyes will be affected, the ears will be affected, the tongue and the limbs will be affected. And why is there shiddatul hirs? Why is there excessive greed for dunya? The Holy Prophet said, Hubbu dunya, the love for dunya. Hubbu dunya, ra'su kullu khati'atin. The love for dunya is the root cause of all our problems. If we can remove that muhabba from the heart of dunya and replace it with the muhabba of Allah, then inshallah you will find there will be a change in the eyes, the ears, the tongue and the mind. May Allah give us tawfiq to make amal, and inshallah when we meet again we will continue from here. Jazakumullah khair.